Hello everyone, amateur meteorologist FirstinWeather here. It is September 8th, 2019, and this is my September 2019 forecast. I won't really be having a temperature or precipitation map in this video. Rather, I'll just be discussing what I think the pattern will be like for this month, especially in the eastern part of the country. So let's get right into the video. This is the GEFS 500 geopotential height, and so this is the basically the ensemble members of the main GFS model, and this is valid for Tuesday, September 10th, about early morning Tuesday. And so in this chart right here, model representation, you can see that it's depicting a ridge in the east and then some troughing in the west. So you would have below average temperatures in the western portion of the country, and then some above average temperatures in the eastern part. And again, this is valid for September 10th. Now if we go to the EPS, the European ensemble model, and you can see there's very good model agreement. There's the same thing, troughing in the west and ridging in the east. So again, this would mean warmer conditions in the east relative to normal and cooler than normal conditions in the northwest. Now this is September 15th. This is again now the GEFS. And there still is, the model is still indicating some troughing in the northwest, all right? And then that ridge is more right around here, so pretty good Bermuda high, and so that keeps things quite toasty in this area right here. So around September 15th, the model is indicating above average or warmer than average conditions, basically east of the Mississippi River right here, and average to slightly above average conditions in this area of the country, with below average temperatures in this area. Here's the EPS model, and again, very good model agreement. If we go up and we go down, you can see that it looks very similar. The troughing is a little less pronounced in the northwest, and there's a little bit more right here, just a tad, but very minor. The EPS has more warmth in general of the country, with warmer than average conditions in this area right here, and then average conditions in this area, and then average to slightly above average conditions right here. This is the GEFS for September 17th, early morning Tuesday, and the ridge, it still does show that ridge right here in the southeast, so a pretty nice Bermuda high. And keep in mind that this is September 17th, so it's very far out, so there won't really be that defined circle right here. And just the fact that there is this relatively large area of pretty dark red here, that indicates that there is good model agreement that there will be ridging taking place in these areas right here. And so this would indicate that there would be above average conditions or temperatures for the southeast, and also in this area of the country right here, you would be seeing warmer than average conditions. And there still is persistent troughing in the west, pretty actually dominant troughing. And as you can see, it does have that nice little trough right here. So cooler than average conditions in the northwest for a good couple of weeks, or a good week and a half or so, according to the GEFS. And then warmer than average conditions in the southeast, and also the portions of the northeast, midwest, and eastern portions of the southwest are forecasted to have above average conditions. Now switching gears to the EPS for the same time frame. Again, very good model agreement. We have the ridge in the southeast, which is slightly more pronounced right here. So the EPS is indicating a little more ridging in the southeast, so slightly greater above average temperatures in the southeast and Midwest and portions of the Northeast, and also Texas. And then again, almost identical model agreement with the troughing in the Northwest. You can see the jet stream like this. So if I erase all the ink real quick, this is what the jet stream would be looking like according to the EPS for September 17th. It would look something like this, right? So warmth right here, and then cooler than average conditions right here. And if we go back up, you can see it's almost identical to the EPS for September 17th. So until about September 20th, there's very good agreement with the pattern by both the GFS and the European. So that really does help increase my confidence in what the pattern is going to be like for the next couple of weeks or so. Now this is for September 22nd. This is the GEFS. And now the pattern has changed a little bit. We don't really have that ridging in the southeast, all right? That is gone, all right? And that ridging is kind of more like this, right? And so that would indicate the GEFS is predicting above average conditions, or warmer than average conditions, more in the center or the heartland of the country, right around here, with then slightly below average conditions right here. You can see it, the slightest hint of a trough right here, so slightly below average conditions here. Warmth, lots of warmth right here, and then average to slightly above average conditions in this portion of the country. So again, let me summarize for you guys. So a little bit of troughing right here, just a tad. Main area of warmth right around here, and then slightly above average temperatures in this area right around here. The European model does not go out this far, so now let's switch gears to the CFS, and this is for September 8th through September 15th, and as you can see, it does show that nice little dome of warmer than average conditions right here. A little pocket of cooler than average temperature anomalies for the upper portions of the northeast, and then it's not really picking up that well in the troughing in the northwest, but it does have pockets of cooler than average conditions, so that is, I think, pretty good model agreement with the GEFS and the European. So if we go now to the next slide, this is the GEFS mean 500 millibar anomaly, and as you can see, this is valid for the 13th of September to the 18th. And so, like the 500 millibar height in MSLP was showing, there is troughing in the northwest and then ridging in the eastern part of the country, so lots of warmth in the eastern part of the country. So this indicates that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to be a late start to fall for many areas east of the Mississippi River. We're still going to see summer-like conditions, summer-like humidity for a large portion of the I-95 corridor, besides maybe areas north of Boston where things will be slightly more around average to maybe even slightly below average. But definitely this is looking like an early start to fall for the northwest and a later start to fall for the east, where things will still be primarily muggy and quite hot for mid to late September. And now going back to the CFS V2, this is for September 15th through September 22nd, and it's in just basically showing warmth in general throughout the entire country. I don't know how correct this is. My confidence in this is not too high. Again, with that persistent model agreement with troughing in the northwest, to suddenly see this big dome of high pressure or above average conditions in the northwest is a little bit iffy toward to me. I think the model is a bit overdoing the warmth, but nevertheless, I think it is a definite warm signal that after about September 18th to September 20th, we are going to see sort of a break in this pattern with the troughing in the northwest and the persistent ridging in the northeast and southeast. I think the model is trying to indicate some sort of pattern change or some sort of balance now with the jet stream, where we might be seeing a more zonal flow with maybe something like this. But again, I think it's too early for that really big ridge that the model is showing. And now if we go to the GEFS, we can see what the model is trying to do. From September 22nd to September 24th, it kind of shifts the warmth from being primarily here with that ridging right here to more right here in the heartland of the country. And I talked about that a few slides down with the model shifting the majority of the warmth to the west. I think this is what the CFS model is picking up on. It's just doing it a little bit too strongly. So I definitely think that after around September 20th, that persistent ridging and that persistent warmer than average, those persistent warmer than average conditions in the east, southeast, and portions of the northeast and upper Midwest should really start to shift to the center of the country. We're talking states like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and I think that's what the CFS model was depicting. It was just a little bit too far to the west, and I think that tells me that as we go through time, the warmer than average temperature anomalies will start to shift from here more to here. The CFS model is just a little bit too early on that. So I do think the month will end with a persistent ridge in the west and then a little bit of a zonal flow in the east, so there will be some heat relief and finally a return to seasonal temperatures. So we're talking upper 60s, low 70s in the northeast, mid-Atlantic, and Midwest. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Now let me summarize all of what I've said. So in conclusion, I do believe that the first or next couple of weeks, so basically until September 22nd, there will be persistent troughing in the northwest. So states like Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, all right, even northern sections of Utah and Nevada are going to see below average conditions in terms of temperatures with that persistent troughing right here. And then areas in the northeast, the mid-Atlantic, the southeast, the central portions of the country, and the Midwest, they should see you guys should see warmer than average conditions until about at least September 22nd. Now after that, we will start to see sort of a transition with the pattern. We're going to see the jet stream go more like this. All right, so we're going to see greater above average temperature anomalies for the center portion of the country, with still slightly below average conditions right here and seasonal to slightly above average conditions right here. And then I think after that, the month will end on a pretty warm note in the northwest. We will finally see a return to that ridging in the northwest, and we will see a nice pleasant end to the month in September for the eastern part of the country, where conditions will finally return to seasonal to maybe even slightly below average for the last few days of the month. So that's pretty much for this video. That's pretty much all I have for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave any comments. Feel free to leave any comments or questions below, and I'll get back to those. And I look forward to going more into the winter discussion over the next few weeks in terms of the QBO, the PDO, and overall my first preliminary winter forecast by early October. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.